Billy Bat Productions presents The Hermanists, a satire show that remixes feminist history into a twisted comedy series. Some episodes contain adult content and strong language, just like in your daily life. This series contains dangerous ideas, possibilities, and a complete rewriting of history, just like in your daily life. Welcome to The Hermanists!
The truth.
Nothing is true.
Everything is broken.
The first thing I do in the morning is brush my teeth.
True.
Sharpen
We're
my
all
jaw.
doomed.
Did join the circus.
We're all doomed. Calm down, woman.
Burn it down!
Burn it down!
Tonight on Women Time. Killer Women, Secret Lives of Women, and our main feature, Not All Men. And to fill out our social media mandate, we will take a peek into someone's worst moment without context or explanation. But first, the sporty news. Women Time. The Fencing World Championships were held in Cairo this year. Lee Kiefer, the U.S. Olympic gold medalist and six-time medalist, was elected to the Hall of Fame in the International Fencing Federation. And the U.S. women's foil team brought home the silver, as well as Lee Kiefer brought home the bronze. And over to England for some wonderful news this year. A big, fat foot of approval to the 87,192 people who attended the European Football Championship match between England and Germany. That's more people gathered for any other championship soccer/football match. The Lionesses of England won against Germany. Germany was a formidable foe with 2 world championships and an Olympic gold under their belt. But this team of Lionesses have now cleared a path forward for the World Cup Championships. We will see you on the pitch, ladies. Women Time. And now our main feature, Tiffany, the first diamond influencer or con artist. Sunshine Stevens settles the debate.
Born Chloe Arnold in 1815, or possibly Louise Parker in 1823, she liked to be called Rita or Trixie, depending on her mood. It is thought her birth town was either Elizabethtown, Kentucky, or possibly St. Louis, Missouri. It is thought that due to a throat infection at an early age, Chloe had a bit of a whispery voice. So when Chloe spoke, people listened. Her childhood seemed to be marked by tragedy and triumph. By the age of 6, she was an orphan. By 12, a millionaire. A product of neither talent nor money, but of her own hard work. Not much is known about this time in her life, other than she had a sales stall in the marketplace that sold handmade trinkets, ornaments, and kitchen implements she had whittled herself. Nothing is known of her between the ages of 12 and 15, but she re-emerged in St. Louis on a store rental contract, along with the name Louise Parker, aged 30. This trading post store sold shiny things like her old market stall, but had a wealthier clientele who liked the shiny things that she marked with the name Tiffany. It is thought that this is where the name Chloe died, and Tiffany Diamond was born. St. Louis, being a main trade route along the Mississippi River, was an integral spot for her brand to be born. Wealthy merchants and traders along the route stopped at Tiffany to purchase her shiny things for their wives. Soon, the trade name Tiffany was spread across the nation, from Boston to San Francisco, Michigan to Louisiana. There is another peculiar gap in her timeline, between 1860 and 1864, which is where the Tiffany store title and ownership is signed over to Louise Parker. There is no Louise Parker on national birth or death records, census, or immigration papers. She is a ghost. Perhaps Chloe Arnold's ghost name was a cover for her other work as a Union spy. What better situation for a spy to be in the heart of national trade routes and in a city on the borderline? So, what is known is that during this time of national strife, when the fiscal growth and town structure of St. Louis slowed, this store thrived, possibly by selling pointy, shiny things to the Union military, all marked with just a small, faint letter T, like a whisper. T. We also know that post-Civil War, the trade name Tiffany flourished. All the great houses of Rothschild, Roosevelt, Anheuser, all had silverware and tea service marked with the trademark T, like a whisper. T. In the papers and daily notes of influential and powerful men of the time, we do find letters from the stationery marked with the trademark T, curiously unsigned, and simply speaking of nothing more than domestic issues, persuasive ideas to further their current business, or in support of whatever position the man is occupying. But then we come to the letters and missives between the power players of the time, all mentioning in some notation or side note about T's influence on matters like trade and infrastructure, improvements in education, and even state legislature. We can see a wider angle of her sphere of influence. Interestingly, on this same stationery are letters that also trace the rise and absolute fall of would-be politicians and financiers. Clearly, a woman of her time, in her time, using timely ideas to further her own ventures. Chloe, Louise, Trixie, Rita, or whoever she reinvented herself to be at the time, she knew a thing or two about human nature. Not satisfied with just silverware and tea service sales, the store begins to branch out into finer, high-quality items, including the diamond trade. And that leads us to probably one of the greatest hoaxes of all time. And it clearly has Chloe, Louise, Tiffany, whatever's fingerprints all over it. So great was her power of persuasion, it is now thought she bankrolled the great diamond hoax of 1872 that illuminated the greed and collaboration between financiers, bankers, and politicians who would amend mining laws to their benefit. The swindle started in San Francisco with a couple of guys who stored a bag of uncut, unprocessed diamonds in a bank vault. Word got out, of course, which led to what the financiers thought was a great treasure hunt in the wilds of the Colorado Territory. The financiers then hired a mining engineer to evaluate the find, who then submitted his highly optimistic report. So delighted with themselves and their power, the report found its way to the press. They just had to brag about it. But that turned out to be a good thing, because a geologist who had previously surveyed that area was now alarmed by this report and investigated. The geologist quickly concluded that the stones found on the site were formed under various conditions, meaning they never would have been found together, and were most likely originated in South Africa. The financiers and investors lost a great stonking amount of money and sued each other and everyone else, but nothing could recoup their embarrassment. The reason why it is thought she bankrolled the hoax was because the guys with the original bag of diamonds were both from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, living in the city of St. Louis, and had previously been in the employ as tradesmen for Tiffany Trade. But nothing more could link her to the hoax, and that line of inquiry, for all the lawsuits, was dropped. Happy to have had her one great last adventure Chloe settled down for her remaining time and became one of the grandes dames of St. Louis. Often seen whittling on the porch of her estate, she hosted presidential candidates, luminaries, and celebrities who sought her influence, funded an orphanage, a rest home for both Union and Confederate soldiers, and various hospitals. She died in her sleep in 1887.
Whoa. Okay. Is that a movie? 'Cause I'd watch it. Sunshine, your stories are circumspect at best. But after a short conversation I've had with the station manager, I'm all on board with you and whatever that was. So how about we do the news? Women time. But first, this just in. A French court has upheld a ban on burkinis in city swimming pools, saying it would allow some sunbathers to contravene hygiene and security rules. Confusingly, the court used the French administrative principle of religious neutrality to uphold its decision, stating that the burkini is only aimed, quote, to satisfy a demand of a religious nature.
Yeah, 'cause they're religious. Let 'em have a dip, it's hot, and they have enough problems. Next.
Is a $200 toothbrush better than an everyday brush?
No. Brush your teeth a minimum of twice a day, floss, use some rinse, done. Next.
Why did French tacos flop?
Why are we still talking about the French? Everyone knows you don't get good Mexican food in Europe. Known fact. Ever have a burrito in England? Ugh, they're disgusting. Hey, no offense. That's why you don't get good English tea service in the American Southwest. And thank God for that. You know what I want in France? French food. And in England, fish and chips. And in Italy, you get the picture. Next.
Evangelical Baptist.
Next.
Meryl Streep?
Yeah, she's the greatest. Keep scrolling.
Shocks are back.
What?
Shocks. Nike is collaborating with Supreme in an updated shoe design.
How is that news? That's advertising pretending to be news. Stop it. Next.
The American Knitting Society. What are they plotting?
Go on. I'm listening.
No, it's just the headline. It asks the questions. What are they plotting?
So it implies they're up to something, like they're trading national secrets or knitting a gun. Leave the knitters alone. Next.
7 books we couldn't put down this month.
7 books in a month? No. I can barely get through an article that directly affects me. Next.
COVID.
COVID's why I can't get through the article. Next.
Thoughts and prayers go out to...
Nope. No more thoughts and prayers. Take all the energy you'd put into thoughts and your prayers and do something useful with it. Next.
And now on Not All Men.
No, it's all men. All men. All lesbians hate sex. All children are emotional vampires. All women are misandrists. Look it up. All feminists hate wallpaper. Bees hate everyone named Krista. When a man is accused of a crime, it's because he's just one bad seed. When a woman is successful, it's because she's a 1 in a million good seed. Women are trying to break glass ceilings so they can steal everything. All serial killers are named Keith. And no one loves your cat but you. That's it. That's all the truth for today.
I thought you liked my cat.
No. I like cats as a concept, but not yours.
I'd like you to leave the studio now.
'Cause I don't like your cat. That's your deal breaker?
Well, yes. I'm a cat owner. It's in the manual.
What about the secret lives of women and women killers?
No, you've ruined it. I'm not in the mood.
Fine.
Next week on Women Time, love and boundaries, dealing with that psycho in your life. The Hermanists is a Billy Bat production starring Nina Greeley and Sailor Billings. Music by John Bartman from Free Music Archive and sound effects from freesound.org. Thank you for listening. And if the mood strikes you, please like and review.
Hey!